Hello, welcome back. This is part two of Llama Arts' Six True Stories Animated 2021 compilation. I watched two of them last video and then rambled on about paranormal stuff. And yeah, because a lot of these stories seem to be paranormal related, these true horror stories. So yeah, we watched two. There's like four left. And let's try to not pause too much. Okay, so last one was a playhouse in the woods. One before it was just a new house. Disturbing vacation story. This is gonna be screwed up, right? I mean, there's the
It was a
police
summer ago.
implied.
My family and I had gone to a cabin that most would use for a winter vacation, but my family wasn't like that. The cabin was located in the middle of the forest. There was no cell phone service, so, as you can imagine,
Okay, I get wanting to go camping. It's just, I do not like. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a camping person or like going into a cabin in the woods because I've seen the movie Cabin in the Woods, and yeah, honestly, I wish that movie had a sequel. But how would it? It ended how it should have. Or, I mean, it would be more of a prequel, like more. Like, yeah, if they made another Cabin in the Woods, it could only be a prequel because of the ending of the first one. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, what I was saying is, I'm not the type of person to go camping with. I just hate it. I hate nature. Okay, I hate nature. I mean, it could be worse though. Like I've been camping once. It's just it was in a tent, I think, and I hated it because it was freezing cold, and it just wasn't my thing. Like it's for some people, but not for me. Anyway, I'm pausing too long.
I was pissed. My mom always complained to me about being isolated and confined to the comforts of my phone. I always found solace in my phone, since being around people made me feel irrational and just plain weird. My parents never understood that. Anyway, my little
Oh yeah, I hate being around people.
sister is 6 years old and was playing around in the forest. She had gone a bit too far out of my sight, and I started to get a little worried. I called out her name but got no response. I then
Jeez.
went in the direction that she did and found nothing but a bloodied bow. My eyes widened as I frantically ran around looking for her. I found a blood trail that led into the deeper parts of the forest.
Oh.
I hesitated, but nothing was going to stop me from saving my sister. I followed the trail for as far as it went. After about an hour, the blood stopped at a hole. I debated whether I should go back and tell my parents, but I didn't think they'd believe me, even if I did say that my sister was missing. There's no denying my parents thought I was insane. Despite my fear, I jumped.
Crazy? I was crazy once. They locked me in a room. A rubber room. A rubber room with rats. The rats made me crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once. They locked me in a room. A rubber room. A rubber room with rats. The rats made me crazy. Crazy? I was crazy. Why was that a meme, by the way? It's just someone. I don't know. I don't get memes. In fact, it's a meme. You're usually not supposed to get memes.
Into the hole. I fell for what felt like forever. Then, I finally hit water. My face morphed into disgust as I stumbled.
It's messed up that I thought he said morbed by a second. My face morbed. He's Morbius. But yeah.
Through what I thought was a sewer, since there was no light. I looked up
Jesus.
out of the hole and saw a tiny white dot. I started to walk around. It was crunching under my feet. I paid no attention to it since I thought it was some dead leaves or sticks that had fallen into the sewer.
It's bones, isn't
That
it?
was until I fell. Some unknown liquid had splashed all over me. I remembered that my phone was in my back pocket, and I pulled it out and shined it on myself. Time seemed to slow down. as I realized what I was walking in. It was a river of fresh blood. The blood had absolutely soaked me.
Okay, that's horror movie shit right there. Well, didn't he say this is like a dream or something? I don't know.
I
Is it?
held in a scream as to not alert any nearby creatures. I then ran through the connection of tunnels and refused to stop until I started hearing footsteps behind me. I stopped, turned around, and shined my flashlight around. The light from my phone landed on a distant figure. It looked so small, so maybe it was a dog or an alligator that had sneaked in. I stupidly started to move towards it.
Why?
As I got closer,
Okay, another case of someone being so stupid that they're doing the horror movie thing again. Why would you move near the possible threat? Like, you're unarmed, you're alone, you're in a cave,
the
whatever.
figure started to get clearer. I started to see that it wasn't a dog or an alligator. As soon as I realized this, I stopped in my tracks and stared. It looked like me. Its body was
Doppelganger?
contorted. Their back faced towards the ground, and its head was turned right side up and faced towards me. Its legs were normal, but its arms were legs as well. It had jagged teeth, and it was chewing on what was left of my sister's head. Then, I saw my parents' head beside it. I stepped back in shock and fear. The mutant of myself charged towards me. In a state of panic, I tried to run away, but I slipped. I hit my head on the rock and passed out.
So he saw the unknown from Dead by Daylight. Wait, if this is a true story, is this just literally some guy went crazy for some reason because he hated being in the cabin? Oh. Jesus, that is disturbing. What the fuck? Okay, that one was not paranormal. It's just some guy was a psychopath. The fuck? I ain't even gonna.
My parents were trapped.
I ain't even gonna say anything about that. If that really is true, that's just fucked up. Like, why? Why? Just because you're a little prick that's angry about going to a camp. Listen, I don't like camping either, but I'll still go camping with the family if they want to. Like, what the fuck? Like, dude clearly had some mental issues. Apparently, though, you know what? I can't say anything. That's just fucked right there. I don't like it. I don't like that one.
Traveling for the weekend, as it was their anniversary, and to no surprise, they wanted to be alone. This meant that I had to take care and be in charge of my little brother, Oliver. Our home and neighborhood were surrounded by woods, and Ollie liked ambling around the trail that was behind our house, but he couldn't go back there without permission. So naturally, since I was 18 and he was 10, I'd have to go with him for precautionary purposes. It was a little while before lunch, so I decided to join Ollie in his trek, so that way my appetite would be in a more salubrious state. It was spring, and the leaves were meager and just starting to grow back onto the trees, which also
A lot
meant
of
I had to
houses
watch
have
out for any sort of
in these
dangerous
stories
animals
have
that could
like
possibly
a
lurk out
forest
and cause
area in
harm
their
to any of
backyard.
us. I could hear Ollie sniffing the air, and then him groaning at something. "Something smells like shit," he said nasally, as he pinched his nostrils shut.
Is he like the nerd emoji? The nerd emotes that you always hear? Like, actually, or something like that.
"Hey, watch your mouth," I retorted, surprised by the sudden curse. Just because mom and dad aren't here doesn't mean you're allowed to say whatever. I did, however, sniff the air. He was right. There was a smell of rotten meat that permeated my nose.
Oh, yeah, this is gonna be
It
screwed
was
up.
like roadkill. I saw what looked like legs by a tree about several yards from us. Stay right there, okay? I instructed Ollie. He nodded in agreement while keeping his hand on his nose. I leisurely walked forward and turned the tree to see what the thing was. It was a deer, and it was dead all right.
I was gonna say a
Flies
dead
droned
body,
and
but
swarmed around
I
it.
mean, it's a
I
dead
was
body
used
of a
to seeing
deer
dead
they
animals
found.
around
Jeez.
here. Hunting was pretty frequent. But there was something that rather took me aback.
I would still find that weird because, you know, when people are hunting deer, they usually don't just leave them there. Or even if it wasn't like someone hunting a deer or maybe a bear got that deer, usually a bear would eat that thing, like they would finish it. So I would just turn back because it could be a freaking weirdo in this forest area that was in their backyard of their house. Like I could see there's like advantages. I can't talk. I'm sorry. Advantages and disadvantages of having like a backyard like that has like a trail you could walk on. Because well, one, cool, you have like a big backyard basically. But then the fact that you don't have any fences or whatever, what if there's like freaks in the forest that just happen to get close enough to your house's backyard? Like something like that. Like you would need like a fence or something. Also, fences tend to keep animals away. Well, unless they're huge, like a bear. A bear might still just go ignore the fence and try to go over it or destroy it or whatever. But yeah, I would find this suspicious and I wouldn't want to be near it.
It was the fact that the way its neck had been ravaged into. It was almost entirely gone and torn down to the bone.
Like an animal.
A bear would go down to the muscle and stop there. But to
Yeah.
the bone? This had to have been from something much more vicious.
A, when a bear kills an animal, they wouldn't just eat the bones, they would just eat the meat on it. That's just how bears are. Well, animals in general, they'd eat the meat of their prey. The fact that I went down to the bone is kind of ugh.
But what?
Maybe a crazy
I looked
person?
back to see if Ollie had actually done what I urged him to. He did, but he was peering out to the woods. His eyes, so fixated, were filled with concern and his face unnerved. You okay, bud? I asked, noticing his expression. Something's out there, he murmured as he continued to seem alarmed.
Yeah, time to go back.
I looked to see if he was kidding around. All that was in my view were the trees and brush. It might have been a deer or something. Don't worry so much. Come on, let's go back and
Yeah,
get
it was
some
a
lunch.
deer that ate the deer.
And so we did, just
It
to
wasn't.
reassure him. I made ourselves some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as we watched a movie for a bit. Ollie usually liked his sandwiches, and he'd been done with it in a few minutes, but he ate his so sluggishly. I didn't bother.
He probably saw something staring back at them, and it's creepy. It was like probably scary. Usually, when you notice a change in behavior, it's something bothering someone, or maybe it's not, and it's just a mood they're in. But yeah, so my bet is while he was investigating that deer's corpse, the kid saw something scary in the trees, and that's probably affecting his attitude. And he's kind of scared. That's why he said he ate slower than usual. Which, after that encounter, I would lock all the doors because, again, they're not too far from their house. Their house's backyard, I think, I could be wrong. Or maybe it's near their house. Regardless, that trail they were walking, I'm pretty sure it's like really close to their house. Maybe again, maybe it's in their backyard, or maybe it's like really close, like incredibly close. So after seeing that, I would lock all the doors because of there might be a giant animal that did that, and it probably would attack humans. So yeah, lock the doors. That's what I would do. And then if it's not, if it's like a crazy person that did something, again, lock the doors. They might try to break in or come for you because clearly that kid saw something that affected his mood. And yeah,
asking what he saw, because I figured that he must have scared himself and that he'd get over it in a while. However, the back of my mind was still unsettled by that deer. How could its neck have been mutilated like that to such a grisly state?
like a crazy
Night
person,
dawned
but
upon both of
also
us, and Ollie was begging me to let him sleep beside me as I put him to bed. What's gotten into you? I asked him.
yeah, he saw something.
That thing's still out there. It was staring at me. It was dark and big. Bigger than you. I'm sure you just scared yourself. If anything was out there, it wasn't anything dangerous. He continued to beg me, but I kept refusing, and told him to close his eyes and that he'd forget about it in the morning. I laid down in my bed,
Yeah,
ready
that's
for
not
a good
happening.
rest. I like keeping my TV on just so I have a source of light in my room. I felt my eyes starting to sag and get heavy.
Okay, to be real though, I probably wouldn't be able to sleep. Like after seeing that disturbing shit, and then the kids claiming something was watching him while you investigated that deer. One, the deer thing would probably bug me, and I probably wouldn't sleep much because I'd be sitting up wondering what the hell did that to that deer. And then two, when the kid says creepy stuff that, oh, that thing was staring at me and it's bigger than you, I would be all, ugh, fuck that. Okay, where's the gun? I I would be checking the house for something for self defense, and yeah, I'd probably be up all night patrolling the house, making sure everything's locked. But you know,
As I slowly felt myself growing drowsy. There was a sudden snap from outside. It sounded like a stick being
yep.
splintered. I figured it was some animal, like another deer, but what would be out at this time of night? My TV was still on, so I decided to watch a little bit more, just so I could go back to sleep. Without even thinking, my gaze floated to the window, and my heart punched the inside of my chest. There was something at the window. I couldn't see what it was, save for the eyes.
And that's why you
They
have
were
blinds or
milky and
curtains.
opaque, almost lifeless, but they were staring right through me. I tried to make it seem like I didn't see the figure outside, and just roll over onto my stomach and pretend to be asleep to try and avert it. I then heard something against the glass. The thing was scratching my window.
That's
The
when you
sound
get the
was
gun.
piercing my ears and grated at my nerves. My chest started to feel full as my breath started to shorten.
Yeah, you get the gun or something to defend yourself with. Because yeah, congratulations. You're a level 1 Soul Dark Souls character about to meet the first boss. I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to make a joke, a Dark Souls joke, but
My window was starting to
I'm
open,
not good at comedy,
and I
as you
could
can
hear
see.
that thing climbing into my room. Its presence was clearly made, as its shadow
Why
covered
would
my
you do that?
entire bed in black. I sat there hyperventilating for what seemed like hours, until I felt the mattress start to sink in. The springs groaned as the thing had climbed onto the bed.
And you're
I
dead.
felt I could literally die from fright right there. The thing started to move across my bed. I was trying my best not to breathe so hard, but I was completely terror-stricken. It then stopped and stood right at my shoulders. I felt its giant feet clasping onto my shoulder blades. I could hardly breathe. I had a mirror to my right that allowed me to see what was above me. and chills ran down my spine. The creature was black, large, and at least 7 feet tall and lanky. Its arms went down to its calves. Its chest leaned over me and stretched to an impossible degree. It didn't even look human or animal. It seemed alien. I shut my eyes tight, hoping that it was just some dream. I could start to hear the creature's heavy breaths and growling. It sounded like a dog, but much more disturbing. As it grasped harder, I feared the worst. My ears were ringing. I wasn't breathing while I bit my tongue. My eyes were shut so tight, and the blood flow in my head stopped almost completely.
Congratulations, you met the new Dead by Daylight killer. I don't know. I don't know. I've been thinking about Dead by Daylight a lot. I should play that game again when I can.
Something then beckoned it off of me, and the creature leapt off. Through my ringing ears, I thought I could hear something like thumps and rusty hinges. I painfully felt the blood flow starting to come back, and I blacked out. Morning came, and I had a massive headache now, and my chest felt so tight. I needed to go wake up Ollie and make breakfast, and I reluctantly did so. I went into his room but found his bed empty. I checked all of downstairs to check if he was there somewhere. Nothing. I then
Congratulations. You fucked up. I mean, well, did he say he locked everything? Probably not. I don't know. Well, it came in through the window. I assume the window wasn't locked because I don't
thought of the one place he could definitely be if he was hiding. I went outside and took to the path in the back of the
know.
woods.
He's dead, isn't
I
he?
walked some ways while trying to get over the pain in my head when I saw his bare feet by the tree. "Ollie," I said, exhausted and annoyed in my grimace. "Come on, what are you—" I stopped. I felt my whole entire world collapse as I was bludgeoned with every single negative emotion possible. I put two and two together, and it answered my questions as it brought my distress up tenfold. Ollie was sitting there. His skin was pale. His cloudy eyes trickled with blood, and his neck was mangled to the bone. He was dead. He wasn't lying. That creature was still out there.
And this is what happens when you wander in the forest and when someone says they see something weird staring at them, you run to the house, you listen, you lock everything, and you get weapons. So remember, these are supposed to be true stories. Kind of screwed up. Anyway, let me see. How long have I been recording? I don't want the video to get too long. We have enough for one more.
One night last summer, two of my friends, Sam and Jake, convinced me to sneak out with them and drink. We were all bored, just looking for something to do. We decided to go for a walk to a local gas station that was open 24 hours a day. The walk there was pretty uneventful.
Why would you
We
want to go
talked
to the
about
gas
random
station?
topics and drank a couple of beers.
You're going to the gas
Once
station
we got
and
to
you
the
don't have a
gas
car.
station,
Why?
Jake had to use the bathroom.
I mean, I guess the
When he
store.
was in the bathroom, there was a dirty, sketchy guy in there.
Of
Jake
course.
struck up a conversation with this guy. It was pretty normal, except when the guy asked why he was out so late, and if he was by himself. Jake brushed it off as the guy was just trying to tell him to stay.
No. 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 If... How stupid are you when they say some sus shit like that? Oh, why are you up so late? Are you alone? That's usually means they're up to something. Like, why? How stupid are you? One, you say, none of your goddamn business. And two, you say, yeah, I got people with me. It just, that'll usually scare the shit out of them, making them assume that, oh yeah, they're gonna get jumped if they try to fuck with you. And then 3, you keep like something on you to defend yourself. Like I said, like I don't know, like a pocket knife. Invest in pocket knives. I, you just need something to protect yourself with because there's a lot of shady people in the world now. A lot of shady individuals that will do harm to you. You just got to be careful. But yeah, this is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. You dismiss it as him thinking, trying to warn you to not walk around alone or something. No, the dude looks shady.
Safe.
I,
We bought some snacks and we noticed the guy following us around while he was talking to someone on his phone.
oh my god, you
We
guys are
left soon
stupid.
after, and on the way back, we sat on the side of the road and talked.
Okay, if he's talking to someone on his phone, I would be on my guard. I'd turn around and tell him, "Why the fuck are you following me?" And then I pull out like a knife or something. Well, pocket knife because I'd feel threatened at that point. I'd tell him, "Why the fuck are you following us? Fuck off." Because yeah, the fact that he's on the phone, are they doing? Is he a human trafficker? First of all, taking an interest in you people, and then he's following you, and there's like 3 of you. Also, why the fuck are you guys up at this time? Like they say it's super late at night, and you just for no reason go to a gas station, and then run to that weirdo. I don't.
For a while as we drank some more. It was pitch black by now because there are no street lights in the area.
Also, don't ever use the restroom at a gas station. Like it, even if you just need to go piss, because the type of people who sometimes like to hang out at a gas station, well, usually like to hang out at a gas station. Let's see, if they ain't homeless begging for change, they're usually some sort of drug addict, or they're up to no good. Started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight, and then my mom got scared and said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air." Ding, 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 ding. Fresh Prince reference. But yeah, like a lot of times, people who hang out in like gas stations like that are shady people. If they're not employees, like homeless people are shady people.
We saw a car coming down the road, which
See,
was no big deal. We sneak out pretty often, and we've never had any real
you
problems.
guys are
Cars
stupid.
usually just drive by. This time was different. The car spun around in the road.
Why are you just first of all? Why are you just sitting in the street? I don't care how many times you've been out late at night. There's gonna be some shady people coming out at night. Nighttime is usually when all the fucking weirdos come out. So, one, why are you just sitting at the street? That's like one of the worst places to sit at. Like, I mean, at least go to a park and sit at a bench or something if you're gonna chill outside very late at night, or I don't know, maybe in a populated area.
And pulled up right next to us on the street, and two guys got out. We ditched the beers, got up, and sprinted down the street. Jake and
Oh
I
my
hid
god, they're
behind an
dumbasses.
RV, while Sam hopped a fence. The
You're
two
never
men
seeing
looked
him again.
dirty, like they hadn't showered in days. We watched the two guys for a little while, which is when we noticed that one of them had a gun in his hand. They looked in our direction for a few minutes before they got back
Okay, yeah, these guys were totally gonna kidnap them. Probably human trafficking or something fucked up like that.
into their car and drove off. Jake and I looked for Sam, but we couldn't find him.
Yeah,
So
you're
we
never seeing
decided
him
to
again
head back home.
because you guys were
We thought
idiots.
we had lost them. But on the way back, we turned a corner, and those same guys were sitting in the car, waiting there. We ran through the alleyways and backyards until we lost them. Every few minutes, we saw the car driving slowly.
That's why
down
you
a
don't
street
wander
or
around
alleyway
this
in the
late at
distance,
night.
and we would hide. Eventually,
You
we made it back,
dumbasses.
and Sam messaged to tell us that he got followed by a different car, but he made it home safe. It's been almost a year
Human
since that
trafficking.
night.
That's what I
We're
think.
always more cautious when we go out, and Sam still has nightmares about being abducted. I don't know for sure if the guy from the bathroom had anything to do with it.
He was on the phone, clearly. Also, you guys said he was disgusting looking, dirty, and the people trying to kidnap you, guys, were described as disgusting and dirty. He was probably one of the cars, because they said the other guy that hopped off that bridge was being chased by a different car. So yeah, I mean those oof, those that whole encounter was just stupid to me. Like, it's obvious that fucker was up to no good. So why? Why would I would just ignore the guy, and if he tried to get up in my face, I just boom, tell him to fuck off after I punch him in his fucking nose. If not punch him, headbutt him in his fucking nose. The trick to headbutting is aiming at the bridge of the nose. You break the fucker's nose. I don't know.
But we believe that he's somehow
Hey,
connected
they,
to it.
if they be shitty like that, why the hell would I care about breaking their nose? Okay, let's see. I think there's one more story. Let me just check the recording. Yeah, we could go one more. I think it was just one more. Oh God, Tinder.
This happened
I hear
when
people.
I
I
was
used to
17
know
years
someone who
old.
used Tinder.
It's been nearly 2 years since my girlfriend broke up with me.
Yeah, so yeah, I used to know somebody who used Tinder. I have no story. I I just know that chick I knew. She's she always got like weird people, like because she did like cosplay and stuff. I just remember she kept getting dudes that their whole personality was they smoked weed. That was it. Like that was their whole thing. That was their personality. I'm a dude that smokes weed. Apparently, I don't know, and she hated that, and she'd always not. She would always deny them, deny their requests. But other than that, yeah, I don't know anything about Tinder. I just know people usually use that to screw around or something. That's all. That's all I know.
And I was very chewed up about it on the inside. I've called her several times, but it always went to
Is this gonna be a
voicemail.
yandere
I've tried
story?
texting her on Messenger since, ironically, we were friends on Facebook, but still, not a single response.
Ah,
As the weeks went by, I became very devastated and was worried that I'd never find love again. My brother
ha! I never have once. I I'm kind of depressed now. Okay.
told me to just forget about my ex-girlfriend and that it was time for me to move on. He introduced me to this app called Tinder, which he said was great for online dating. I was very
I just know
familiar
Tinder
with
was
online
infamous.
dating, but never actually done any of it because there was no
I mean, I hear mixed things about online dating. For some people it works. A lot of times it doesn't though. It depends. But all I know about Tinder is it's in people like its reputation is people use it to screw around and that's it.
way that I even felt like hooking up with some random person I met online. But I figured it couldn't hurt to try it out, so I decided to give it a shot. After I finished setting up my account and was done creating my profile, I just started randomly liking a few of the girls that I thought were pretty. I'm not picky, I just wanted to make sure that I found the right
I'm
girl for
picky.
me. A few weeks later, I've had already received my first match on Tinder. Her name was Robin. She had blue hair, freckles, and beautiful amethyst purple lips. According
Did did he get a goth GF? Did he get a goth GF? Is she gonna turn out to be crazy? Is this what this story is gonna be?
to her profile, she had the same interest in the stuff I
Anime,
was
video
into,
games, and
and was even
dogs.
around the same age as me. Even better, she lived in the same town as me. By the way, I live in Memphis, Tennessee. We started having a
Memphis.
friendly group chat on Tinder, which was going well. Her message said, "You may not know me, but we went to the same high school. I replied, "Are you sure?"
Oh god, yeah. It's gonna I'm calling it now. So this last horror story is gonna be the chick he met on Tinder was Yandere. And if you don't know what Yandere means, obsessed with him and kind of crazy to the point she'd murder him. Like the whole "if I can't have you, no one can," or well, Yandere is also in anime murder people that they think are interested in the person they're obsessed with, even though I forgot. There's like a lot of examples of yanderes, like that game I played, Psycho no Sutoka. I don't know if the video's been uploaded, but yeah. Basically, the plot to that is the girl is obsessed with the player character, just not the one in the yandere mode, and she stalks him. So basically, this chick's probably going to be a stalker in this story. But yeah, she stalks him, and then she really hates his best friend, who, like in Psycho no Sutoka, you can find his corpse, his decapitated corpse, and then you can find his head in something else. And like she brutally kills that guy in that game. But yeah, basically a yandere again. I guess to make it short, a crazy bitch obsessed with someone, and then yeah,
She said,
usually
"Yeah,
murderous.
I was always the quiet one at the back of class. Anyways, I think you're really cute. We should hang out sometime." I agreed and asked her to where she wanted to hang out, where to meet her, and
She's
what
gonna be
time I should
weird.
be there. She said we'd hang out at her place and meet her at the park tomorrow night at around 9 p.m.
Okay, don't go to her place. You're gonna end up in her basement. That or she's really loose and you're getting some, but
I accepted.
I wouldn't risk it.
I got to the park
I
that
wouldn't
night
risk
at
being
around
locked in the
9 p.m.
basement.
sharp. I didn't call her because I didn't want to sound too desperate. Some time passed, and I finally decided to
Yeah, I
call
think this
her
is the
to no
last story.
response. I also tried texting her to no
This is funny. I
avail
was
as
originally
well.
just gonna do
It
two.
was around 9:30 p.m. There was still no sign of her, and I was beginning to grow impatient. I was starting to think that maybe she wasn't going to show up at all. I sighed and said, "I knew this was too good to be true.
Yep.
She's not even here yet."
Wait. Is he here late at night? I just realized. Who makes you meet them late at Well, again, Tinder's infamously for just getting laid or something. I remember hearing. Maybe that's why, but also I wouldn't. It's like
This is
late
screwed.
at night
I'm
and
going home.
usually
I can't believe I came out here this late for nothing.
yeah.
Oh well, so much for online dating. I was about to start my walk home when suddenly I saw a black convertible pull up to my location.
It's
The
a
car stopped right in front of me, and the window rolled down, revealing a creepy looking old man who was probably in his mid-30s. He gazed at me with a weird smile and
okay. Did this weirdo catfish someone?
asked, "You going somewhere, kid?" I responded, "Yeah, I'm just headed home." He asked me why I was out there this late, and told him that I was supposed to meet someone, but it seemed like she wasn't going to show up.
Why are you telling him this? It, if someone just like you're waiting for someone's late at night and then some fucking weirdo just shows up, and oh, why are you here? I would you would it would be okay for you to say sorry, but it's not any of your business why I'm here. I'm leaving. I'm going home now. I mean, he already said he was meeting someone, but then he has that. I would say it's none of your business. Go away.
He said, "Oh, you must be waiting for my daughter." The man, by the name of Jeff, introduced himself to me as Robin's father, and said that Robin has told him a lot about me. He told me that Robin couldn't meet me at the park because she remembered that was the night she had
Okay, yeah, don't trust that.
to go to a slumber party with her friends, and she forgot to cancel. He told me she wouldn't be home till 11 o'clock, and that's when I knew my night was a bust. He apologized and offered to give me a ride home. I knew it was going to take too long for me to walk, so I accepted.
Oh my god, are people really this stupid? Why would you accept a ride from someone you never met? Even if they claim to be. I mean, again, you haven't met the person from Tinder yet. I remember hearing there's also a lot of. Well, in online dating in general, there's like shady people doing shit like this also. But yet, why would you accept a ride home from a stranger? One, you, they claim to know the person you were going to meet, but they just randomly show up. Also, if someone cancels on you, you would either never hear from them again, or they would just message you saying, "Oh yeah, sorry, changed my mind." It takes nothing but a few seconds. Why was this person waiting for you late at night? Clearly, it's something shady and fucked up going on. Like, why? Why? How stupid are you?
It was going to be a long drive, but luckily I knew all the shortcuts to my house. I told him where I lived and how to get there as I got into the car. After a few minutes, I was
Yeah,
feeling
this
tired from
guy's.
being out so late, so
This dude's kidnapping you, dude. You're like extremely stupid. Really stupid, in fact. The reason why they had you out late is because, well, one, you'd probably be tired.
closed my eyes for just a few short seconds and dozed off. Not long afterward,
He's
I
gonna sell
awoke.
your liver on the black
Feeling
market.
a little drowsy, I rubbed my eyes and realized that I was still in the car. I asked the man where we were, as this wasn't the usual route to my house. He said, "Relax, kid, this is a shortcut. We're almost there." I asked where we were going, and then he looked at me with some sinister grin on his face and just chuckled. I felt my heart almost explode out of my chest as he
Oh
did
my
that.
god, how are you so
I
stupid?
looked down and saw a handgun.
Okay, keep in mind this is like a true story. How stupid are you? Like you're incredibly stupid. Again, he was supposed to meet someone who suspiciously uh, scheduled their date at like fucking late at night, and then some random they never show up. Some random person claiming to be that person's father shows up instead, which keep in mind. First of all, I wouldn't trust that as soon as someone pulled up. I wouldn't care who they claim to be. I'd be all, nah, I'll just walk home. And then you accept a ride from this weirdo. Like, Jesus Christ. Also, they claim to be their father, but you said they're like in their 30s and you're probably in your like 20s. My dude, you're stupid. Stupid.
Sticking out of his jacket pocket. I put two and two together and realized what was happening. I told him, "Let me out now!" He responded, "No." Then, he put his foot on the accelerator, speeding up the car. I tried to get out, but he had already put the child lock on. It seemed hopeless. I was trapped. There was no way out. To make matters worse, we were driving through a forest area with no cell service. I couldn't even call for help. But I just had to
How
get out.
stupid is
As
this
soon as the
guy?
car started to slow down, I stabbed him in his shoulder with a pocket knife that I found on the floor. He screamed in pain as I was able to turn off the child lock, unlock the door, and run as fast as I could into the woods. While I was running, I could hear multiple gunshots being fired at me, but luckily, not a single one hit me. I never looked back because I had the fear of the man chasing me at the back of my mind. I dove behind a tree and hid under a bush. I heard the man yelling, "You can't hide from me! I will find you!" I covered my mouth with my hands and held my breath, trying not to make a sound. Everything was silent for a while, until I saw the man was looking for me with a flashlight.
Oh, God. Like, for real. Dude, this could have all been avoided if you weren't fucking stupid. First of all, red flag number one would be all, oh, come here really late at night. I would have been, fuck no. Like,
He flashed it past me multiple times. When I heard his
first of
footsteps
all,
going
you should
deeper
do
into
this
the
in the
woods,
daytime
that's
if
when
you're
I knew
gonna
the
do
coast was
online
clear.
dating, I guess.
I
It would be
ran,
smart
using
to
the
be in a
flashlight on my phone
populated
to help
area
navigate me through the dark
during
and
the
scary
day,
woods.
because
In
in case any
hindsight, I knew
shady
that was a
business
stupid
happens,
move considering the
there's
situation.
people all around.
I could hear the leaves crunching and the twigs snapping as I ran, which would also easily give away my position. When the crunching and snapping got louder, I looked behind me and my heart dropped when I saw that the man was chasing me. I ran as fast as I could with the man hot on my tail, firing every single last live round he had in his gun. But thankfully the shots missed again. "There's nowhere for you to hide," he said. I thought I was going to die, until I heard the man trip over something, and I was able to get away unharmed. I kept running
You know, you're
until I
pretty
was out
shit
of the
at being a
woods and back
kidnapper.
onto the road. Looking behind me then, he was nowhere to be seen, which means I lost him. I sighed in relief,
Keep
and then
running.
I saw a red car driving down the road. I was able to wave it down and told the driver that I was kidnapped and almost killed by some crazy man in the woods. It took a lot of begging, but the driver finally gave me a ride to the police station, and I told the cops everything. Unfortunately, I didn't get the man's tag number, but I gave the police a clear description. After the police had run a search, they told me that he didn't even have a daughter, and that they've been trying to catch this guy for months.
Okay, so yeah, this guy just catfished some dude because he probably wanted to murder someone. He's probably like a serial killer.
As it turns out, he's wanted in several countries for the kidnappings of multiple teenagers and young men. How I managed to escape him is a miracle. The officers kindly gave me a ride home, and I didn't tell anyone what happened except my brother.
Let's not forget he gave this guy his address because he thought he was gonna drive him home. Like, dude, probably screwed up.
The man was never found, nor was he ever caught, and they say he's still out there, even to this day, which scares me the most. What's even worse is that I stupidly gave him my address, so who
See?
knows if he might try to kidnap me again. Needless to say, my days of using Tinder weren't over after that. The whole incident just made me a lot more cautious from there on out.
Now keep in mind, there's there's a chance that that guy won't even remember that dude's address that he because chances are he probably wasn't even really paying attention. He was just trying to get Mr. Protagonist, fucking idiot, into his car so he could try to kidnap him and probably kill him. Anyway, I think that was the last one. Yeah, it was. Anyway, hold on. Let me. You dumbass. Anyway, yeah, this was 6 true horror stories animated 2021 compilation by Llama Arts. So yeah, keep in mind these stories were supposed to be true. Some of them were kind of disturbing. Like I feel like the first video were mostly just paranormal stuff, like stuff people claim to have seen, and then this one it was one guy went psycho and he didn't realize it that he murdered. Ugh. I don't want to go into that one. I don't like that one. Then there was the Playhouse one where, well, I guess that's technically paranormal, but it's still fucked up. which could have been avoided if you just didn't be a horror movie character and investigate. I mean, they lived, but oof. And then let's see, the third one. What was the third one? I kind of forgotten. Oh yeah, the kidnapping. Oh yeah, then there was this thing because this guy wouldn't listen to the kid that claimed they saw something. And congratulations, your brother's dead now because you were one. You should have locked the doors or locked up a bunch of stuff, and then yeah, or been more careful than this one. These teenagers almost got kidnapped because they were out too late. Like this idiot in this story. Like difference is they had multiple and they escaped without unscathed. But yeah, if these stories really are true, God, this world's so fucked. I mean, and I believe it, but at the same time, oof. But anyway, so that's I'm gonna end this video now since we went through all the stories. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Sharing also helps. Anyway, I'll see you all next time. You all have a good one. Later.